Cal, we have viewers. One of the most important things in a Facebook Live is people actually showing up and watching the Facebook Live. How's everybody doing, folks? Let me know, as always, you've heard it before, in the comments. Let me know if you're watching this live, big hashtag live. If you're watching this on the replay, hashtag replay. Also, anybody who is watching this live or on the replay, we had a little bit of an offering last week to invite some people to UCM Jumpstart calls. I think it was a fantastic call. I got lots of good feedback, so we are going to do it again. So if you want an invite to this week's live private UCM Jumpstart call on Friday, type in hashtag Jumpstart and I will reach out, or someone from my team will reach out. Totally free, no commitment, just show up and jumpstart your results. Hashtag Jumpstart. Ooh, we got some people showing up today, I guess. There's quite a few people that want to make 20K per month, the coveted 20K per month. I hear a lot of people start out, I've had the honor of talking to so many people who are starting out in this industry, and it seems like the generic goal is 10K per month, right? That's a lot of what the ads tell us we can do, and so we just accept that. But I've noticed that the more someone is in the industry, the more they start to have some success, the more they start to get the wheels turning, all of a sudden, boom, 20K. And for some people that seems unreachable or, unrealistic, but I want to be the first to tell you that it is totally possible, but there's certain things that have to fall in place. There's certain things that you have to commit to make sure that this is not just a pipe dream. Right? So let's start off. I want to make 20K. I hear that often. And I think that some people are thinking that I'm going to start off with some strategy or tell them who to connect with. But the first thing we always do, right, in any sales situation and in any conversation is start to uncover, start to clarify. So I start to ask questions to see where they're at. Right? If someone tells me I want to make 20K, I say, okay, cool. Are you in an opportunity currently? And if they say yes, I ask them, how many sales a month is 20K in your current opportunity? And it's amazing to me how many people say, you know what, I've never thought about it. It's like, what? You're in an opportunity, you want to make 20K, but you have no idea what that looks like? Okay, no worries. So does anyone else in the organization make 20K? And they say no. I'm like, okay. So it's getting more and more challenging, right? And then I ask them, okay, how often do you spend time speaking to closers that are making 20K? The answer is usually never or very seldom. Okay, no worries. How much time do you spend with business owners? Talking to them, especially extremely successful business owners. Not that much. Right? Okay. Well, how much does a business owner need to make monthly for you to make 20K? Not sure. Just for anybody that knows, it's a minimum of 200K a month if you are the only closer. 200K if you're getting 10%, simple math, right? And so then I dig a little bit deeper. Where do 200K a month business owners spend their time? Beats me. Okay. What problems do 200K a month plus business owners struggle with? Not sure. And then it's usually a little bit of frustration, right? Why are you asking me all these damn questions, JD? I just want the 20K opportunity. The problem being, I think a lot of people are looking for a 20K job like it's some destination or it's some like deer in the wilderness that we can go hunt. And I've always taken the mindset that there is no 20K job. It's performance-based industry. Right? So what is a 20K job for one person might be a 6K job for the next. Right? And so the tunnel vision or looking for the job, I think, is one of the big problems. And then I think the other problem is sometimes we have these pipe dreams and we never really connect them to progress and process. And so what I mean by that, right, is a pipe dream is if I asked you today, like, what is your dream vacation? And you told me, I want to go to Japan. I'm like, that's amazing. What would you do there? This, that, sushi, I'd go to the mountains, skiing, whatever it is. Okay, great. How much does that cost? I don't know. I never thought about it. Right? That to me is a pipe dream. There's no connection to the real world. There's no connection to the efforts that I'm doing today will lead me, or there's no idea of like, did I progress towards that goal today? That's a pipe dream. Right? If I asked you what year you want to retire, put in the comments what age do you want to retire? For me, the aim was 38. Right? For a lot of people, it could be 40, 45, 50. There's no wrong answer. Right? What age do you want to retire? Let me see it. Come on, people. You don't want to retire? You just want to work? Such savages here. Just want to work their whole lives. Amazing. Anyways, so if I asked you what age you want to retire, and you tell me 45 or 52 or 61 or whatever age, right? And then I ask you, we all kind of know what age, but then I ask you, well, how much money do you need to retire to live the type of life that you want to live? Most people, deer in headlights. I never really thought about that. Well, then it's a pipe dream. Well, then you haven't really given yourself the best chance to be able to hit that goal because you don't know if you're on pace or not. You don't know what's going to happen. And so the process that we use in UCM to take a pipe dream, which is where everything starts, and turn it into a result is this. We start at a pipe dream, and then we make it a dream, and then we make it a goal, right? What I want and when I want it. The when is really important, right? Then we start to put it into a plan. How much do I need? I maybe do a little bit of research. What's a flight cost to Japan, right? What's a hotel cost? Then all of a sudden, it starts to become real. And then from that plan, I start to figure out what's missing. I start to create the gap. Right? We understand that when we're selling someone else, the gap is really important. Where are you now? Where do you want to go? And what's missing? Most people don't spend any time on that. They're either busy doing something that is just urgent and meaningless, or they're dreaming. We need to be able to connect the dreams to the actions, right? So we plan, and then from that plan, we create the actions that progress us towards that plan. And then, where most people falter, is we're going to have undesirable results. And most people, when they have undesirable results, they back up, they look for certainty, they look for safety, they look for comfort, right? What we do is we take undesirable results as if we're in an experiment, and we evaluate what happened, what worked, what didn't work. And then we make adjustments, which is going to be important. If you dream big, you're going to need to get really good at adjustments, because the chances of you just trying the first thing and it works every time is very slim. All right? So we need to be able to adjust, and then we need to be able to take more action, and then we need to evaluate and adjust and take more action and continue on that basis. And we're going to hit milestones. And eventually, if we take enough consistent action, especially consistent and comfortable action, if we evaluate and adjust, and we get in that cycle, we will progress towards our goal. And eventually, when you hit that cycle, it becomes a when, not an if. And that means your pipe dreams will turn into your results. Right? And so one of the mindset shifts that I try and get everybody that I speak to, because that's usually the first conversation. I want this, I want that. I want to make 10K, I want to make 20K, I want a job in this, I want to work in personal development. I want. Right? But one thing we have to be really, really clear on is that 20K is a result. It's not the effort. You don't go out and find the 20K job, right? The example that I use, and I just finished a UCM call where I use this example, but I think it works, is like, let's say I want cake. Do I bake a cake, or do I follow a process? Do I gather ingredients and follow a specific recipe and then execute the directions, and the result is the cake. I can sit here thinking about cake and how amazing it would be to have a cake and wanting it and desiring it and thinking why it's not fair I haven't got one yet, or I can start committing to the process. One is a very high likelihood that I'm going to get a cake. The other is going to keep me wanting. And I've talked to people in this industry who for 2 years have had the same desires, but they're in the exact same place that they were 2 years ago. Why? Because they never follow the process and they never take the actions. They never gather the ingredients. They never follow the recipe to get that result. The beautiful thing about this industry is none of us have to be fucking pioneers. We're not here trying to figure out if maybe this remote high-ticket sales space could be something. Thousands and thousands and thousands of people have done it before us. They've proved the model. I went and started this industry 7 years ago, right, and went from $1,200 a month to $40,000, $50,000 a month. I proved to myself someone did it before them. Right? So there is a model there. There is a recipe. The ingredients and the resources, it's all available to you. But you have to be willing to follow the process and take action. Right? And so this is how most people go about this industry, and it really is the tunnel vision killing you. I've had people that reach out to me and they basically ask, do you have a 20K job? And I tell them, not for you, or no, just don't. You're a stranger. I don't give strangers jobs. And instead of asking more questions or discovering or finding out that I actually do have the network, or I do have the information, or I do have the ingredients or the recipe to get them to 20K, I am absolutely fucking useless to them. Because they're looking for a transaction. They're out there hunting for a 20K opportunity. So nothing else resembles anything that's valuable. Not the people, not the places, not the opportunities, not the learning, not the growth, not the education, nothing. It's only, where is this 20K, 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 right? And so they never find it, right? So most people, it's always starting on what I want. I want a job, I want 20K, I want. I was the same way when I started out, especially when you start out with a level of desperation. When you hate your 9 to 5 and you're not making enough money, you start out with a little desperation. But I realized that I had to change my way of thinking if I wanted to excel in this industry. Because like I said, my first 4 months were not impressive. I think I made $3,100 in 4 months. So I had to change the way I was thinking, and I had to turn that pipe dream of I wanted to make 50K a month. That was my goal. I had to turn that into a process. And so I looked around, and at that time, the people that I was certain were making 50K a month were closer agencies, was the pipelines, was the sales trainers. I knew that they were making a lot of money. And so that was when it really changed for me what we call U Inc. in UCM, but the idea of like, instead of waiting in these pipelines, hoping, wishing, waiting, whatever you want to call it, and depending on someone else to hopefully give me the scraps after they make all the money off it, I was like, well, why can't I just compete with them? Instead of waiting in the pipeline, why can't I compete with the pipeline? Right? And so that's when I started developing this idea of being a closer agency of one. I thought about it, and I'm like, it's not anything special that these pipelines are doing. I mean, they have a sales team. They reach out to business owners. They identify problems, and they offer a solution. And they take a significant chunk of money to do so. I heard the other day, there's companies charging $8,000. $8,000 to place one of us. Why could we not place ourselves in that opportunity? What are they doing? Because we already paid for their training. What are they doing? Why is their cut so big? And why could we not compete with them? All they're doing is reaching out to business owners and providing a service. So why couldn't we do this? You know, this was one of the biggest game-changing concepts that allowed me to go from 1,200 to 40,000, 45,000 consistently. I started thinking of myself and my business, or in my career, like a business. I started focusing on finding clients to provide my service to instead of finding jobs to apply to. So expanding the thinking, I realized that like anytime I want something, like really, really want it, I never fucking get it. It's weird. You know, when I want money, that's when I'm usually the brokest. When I want a job, no one wants to hire me. Right? Whenever I'm like in that desire mode, it seems like there's a built up resistance. And so I started expanding and looking at like how business works and what the results I could get and what process I could implement. And I thought, well, what's happening here in exchange, right? What is an exchange? Really the economy behind things, right? And when there's an economy, there's 4 questions. And we typically only ask ourselves one, right? There's 4 simple questions that can be used in almost any economic situation to guide you in the right direction and start giving you the recipe to get that result that you want. The first one we all know, we've just talked about it. What do I want? One of the first things that I do with UCM students is get them to get crystal clear about exactly what they want. The problem is when we get bumped and bruised, we start to sacrifice and compromise, right? Instead of holding to and getting creative. So what exactly do we want? If it's the 20K job, that's great. Don't let some pipeline tell you, oh no, you need to make 3 or 4K for 6 months. Like if you really want it, and you know that it might be a little bit more difficult, but it is possible, hold strong on that, right? What exactly do you want? Now, we all should have that covered. That one should be easy. The other 3 questions complete the exchange, right? So there's what do I want? The second question is really important, right? Which is what do I have to offer? Now, this is where a lot of salespeople struggle because what do we think is most valuable? Experience. It's all about experience and skill. If I don't have the experience or I'm not confident in my skill, I have nothing to offer. Nothing could be further from the truth. What about your time? The problem when we're not making money, we don't value our time. We just don't value our time enough. And as a business owner, like I've had a unique experience in that I've been a recruiter, I've been a salesperson, and I've been a business owner. I've seen it from all angles. To me, experience is not something I value that much. Why? Because I have it. I have it. So the only people that I've seen that really truly value experience so much are the ones that don't have any. That's why a lot of new business owners will tell you you need 2 years experience because they need you to be independent in their sales process. They basically need you to develop. So they need you to be able to identify what's going wrong and how to fix it. Since I'm experienced, since I believe in my sales process, since I'm proven, I don't value it that much. And I've talked to a lot of business owners and they feel the same way. You know what they value more than anything? Time. For someone that's extremely successful, time is the most valuable thing that someone can offer. 1, can you give me some more time, more of your time for results? Or 2, can you save me time so I can produce results? Both of those things are extremely valuable, but for some reason when we're on the job hunt, we don't value our time enough. Right? The second thing, and I can tell you from experience, right, it's the number 1 problem that business owners face with staff is human reliability, time and time again. So after time, I value peace of mind. I value someone who works stress-free. I value reliability. After that, work ethic. Right? All of these things are valuable to me. But we tend to put people that have more experience on a pedestal, right? When really a lot of the things that we bring to the table are extremely valuable to the right person. They may not be valuable to the person in the pipeline that's just starting their business out and needs you to be a full stack independent person that can do everything for them and run 66% of their business for them for 5 to 10% commission. That's probably not who you want to work with anyway. So part of understanding what do I have to offer? Is it my loyalty? Is it my integrity? Is it my hard work? Like make a big list. I challenge everybody who's watching this, make a list. Don't think about how it translates to sales. Right? Are you kind? Are you, go the extra mile type of person? Do you have empathy? Are you a great communicator? Like just make a huge list. Don't think about how it's going to translate yet, right? So we have on this side, that's one side of the economy. What do I want and what do I have to exchange or what do I have to offer? right? Now, on the other side, who has what I want? That's so important, and we don't spend enough time there. We just go randomly because we've done our role plays and we've taken our sales training, and the training now says, okay, you're free to do it. Just randomly reach out to whoever and just tell them that you're a high ticket closer and blah, blah, blah. And it doesn't work. Why? Because it's not targeted. If I'm in a grocery store telling people about UCM, they'd be like, who is this nut job? Right? Because it's not targeted. That's why I built a group, to be able to house a community of like-minded people. I need to understand my audience, right? Who is your audience? Who has what you want? And the idea is, if you want to make 20K a month, right? It's not a startup. It's not a startup. It's not a CEO making 10K a month. Who has what you want is probably a high seven-figure business. For you to make 6, you always have to think they need to make 7, right? So understanding that it's a successful business owner that has what you want. Now, the whole completion, the fourth question, and maybe arguably one of the most important, is what did they want? That's the exchange. Because when you find that blend of what you want and what you have to offer and who has what you want and what do they want, then all of a sudden you can start to make a connection, right? When you start to answer these questions, then you get some clarity, right? So running the process, let's go through it, right? What do I want? I want to make $240,000 this year, right? 20K a month. Okay, what do I have to offer? My time, my skills, my student mentality, my loyalty, my work ethic, my communication, my honesty, just making that big list. Right? Who has what I want? 7-figure business owners. And what do they want? Now, thinking about it, you could be tunnel vision and like, oh, they want salespeople. Okay, maybe not. Maybe they want more leads. Maybe they want more sales. Maybe they want reliable staff. Maybe they want to get off the sales calls themselves. Maybe they value loyalty, peace of mind, more time, whatever it is. Right? Now, we don't know. We're making assumptions, right? And some of the soft assumptions, like more sales, more time, more leads, that's pretty consistent, right? But I always put question marks behind that because I'm really just assuming, I'm generalizing what they want. And any time that I'm thinking or talking about what another human being wants, I can't assume. I have a rule on a sales call that if they don't say it, it doesn't exist. If I don't hear it come out of their mouth, I can't assume it. I need them to say it for me to be able to move forward. This is the same way. Because again, going back to the closer agency of one, I'm selling my service. I am not your job applicant. I'm not your candidate. I am not your employee. I am no different than an email marketer or a copywriter or a web designer. You are my client, and I am going to provide a hell of a service for you. But I need to understand and I need to discover what it is that you want and need, right? And so how do I do that? There's really only 2 options at that point. There's research and there's communication. Both of these things are limiting factors when I talk to salespeople who are struggling. Oh, I just can't find 20K opportunities. Okay. How many conversations are you having a day? None, 1, 2, 4, whatever it is. It's not calculated. Again, it doesn't add up to a recipe, right? How much time are you spending researching 7-figure businesses? What's your lead list like? What kind of pipeline do you have? Right? If you're providing a service, right? If I was gonna, let's say I started a Facebook ads agency, what would I do? I'd have to go out and generate leads. I'd have to build a pipeline. I'd have to create content. I'd probably organically market myself, right? I'd have more conversations. I'd figure out what business owners need from my service. And then I would cater my solution to their problems. But for some reason in this industry, and it's pretty much one of the only industries that this is the case, we become so dependent on the people around us, and then we just settle. We say yes to everything because we're so insecure that we might not get the opportunity, right? That we let other people cut in. We let the pipeline come in and take 7K off the top and charge us 7K and charge the business owner 15K, and they get in, right? And then we wait. And if we're not from the US, you're going to wait and wait and wait in the pipeline. Or if you're too old, or if you're too young, or you don't have the right intro video, or any of the other things where they just disqualify. Because that's what we do with job applicants. We get 100, and we have to make up certain little rules that get us down to 5. Because I can't have 100 interviews. Just impossible. I have to narrow it down, so I choose stupid things like time zone. Even though I have people that work all over the world that are willing to work. I mean, I'm in Spain right now. I'm working US hours. So time zone is not a factor. But if I had that in my resume, I would be excluded from most of the pipeline opportunities that I paid good money to get in for. Right? So I need to be less dependent on the pipeline, and I need to compete with them. I'm not saying don't put your name in a hat. I'm not saying if you see your dream opportunity, don't apply. But wishing and hoping and waiting is not the strategy. If you're not getting multiple opportunities a week, you're not executing the strategies properly. Right? Our UCM students go through the same process every single time. Week 1, they all message me, I'm overwhelmed. By weeks 3, 4, 5, they message me, I'm overwhelmed with opportunity. How? What is the difference? The difference is they research. They use the information they have, which is probably 85% of the companies out there are not going to be able to meet your needs. Why? Because I read a stat the other day. It's 85% of the coaches that are out today will not be here in 2 years. Right? Then you have to take the percentage of what percentage of coaches will only make enough to support themselves. Right? What if their goal is 20K a month? It's a great goal, right? We're so used to seeing these big numbers, 6 figures a month, but 20K a month is a great goal for any business owner, right? If that's their goal, but that means that they can't provide for you. That means that you're never going to outperform the CEO. You're never going to outperform the revenue of the company, guaranteed. A salesperson will never make more than the revenue of the company. That's just the way it is, right? So knowing that, there's really only about 15% of the market that can actually produce the results we want to hit our goals, right? But we also have to dig a little bit deeper. The more I look into it, the more I realize that referrals are the number one source of new hires by far. It's not even close. There is no close second. So while everybody else is going out and just going direct, right? It's reach out to employer. Hi, I'm a high ticket closer. I'm hungry. I've went through lots of training. I'm looking to make 6 figures with a great company. I'm dedicated. I'm just looking for an opportunity. Are you hiring? Right? A couple problems there. One, knowing that referrals are the number one source of new hires, we should also be building the web around the business owner. We should be talking to their hiring managers. We should talk to their salespeople. We should talk to the recruiters in that space. We should be talking to everybody around them. Who runs their Facebook ads? Who's their email marketer? Who built their funnel? These are the people that are most likely to hear the problems of the business owner, and your referral is your best chance. The other problem with, and I get it 12 to 20 times a day, right? Hey, I'm a high ticket closer, hungry, whatever, right? It's all about you. So I'm hungry, I'm trained, I want 6 figures, I'm hardworking, I'm dedicated, I'm looking for an opportunity. In what sales situation, the funniest thing is people will message me and tell me how great they are at sales, and then they hit me with that. Imagine any other situation. Right? Imagine you got on a call with me about UCM, and I said, "Yeah, I'm trying to build, a big organization, a big community of like-minded individuals. I'm trying to make this much money. I'm trying to get this many sales this week. I'm trying. I'm really high integrity. I'm really hardworking." There is no way that anyone would join UCM. I'd have to fold. Right? Because that's not how we sell. We have to understand what's in it for me. We also have to understand, excuse my French, but no one gives a fuck what you want. So you can go around and bounce around all day, but until you understand who it is that has what you want and really understand what they want, that's when you can position yourself. That's when you can start to build the blueprint of what does it take to get in these opportunities, right? So like a perfect example, I'm always paying attention because the beautiful thing about social media is it's really two things. It's someone posting about their problems or someone bragging about their performance. So for me, that's just opportunity land. Because if someone is talking about their problems, I'm looking for an opportunity of how can I solve or how can I leverage someone in my network to solve their problem that might potentially lead me to a referral. Right? If they're talking about how great they're doing, then I'm downloading all the information of like what's happening here. Right? So perfect example, coaching sales, for those that know them, right? Great recruiters. They put out a monthly chart every month, top 10 salespeople. To me, as a closer, like not thinking about myself as a mentor, if I'm a closer, that's a fucking gold mine. Why? Because every one of those people is making the type of money I want to make. They're showcasing it. They're saying, hey, here's the clue. The problem is most people are not willing to look for the clues. They want what one action is going to lead me to a 20K job. And it's not that way. Right? I talk a lot in UCM about detective work. You have to take the mentality of a detective. Imagine if you're a detective and you show up for a crime scene and you're just sitting there and you're like, hey, did you do the crime? The person's like, no. You're like, did you do the crime? No. Did you do the crime? No. I don't know who did the crime. Nothing would ever get solved. Right? So it's the same approach in this business is you have to be able to look for clues. Who are the successful businesses that are succeeding? Right? And who are the successful salespeople that are succeeding? A lot of times success leaves clues and so does failure. Right? When I was struggling, I looked around and I realized what I was doing was what a lot of people who were struggling was doing. And so I started modeling the most successful people and I started getting successful results. There is no one here that's just genetically bound to not succeed. Right? If you find the model, you will be successful. So I'm going to wrap up, but I have created a resource as well that kind of goes down. There's a little bit more structure to it as far as, step by step, what you need to do to be successful in this industry to reach that 20, 30, 40, 50K. So if you want the resource to go along with this call, type in resource or type in blueprint in the comment section, blueprint, and I will send it to you personally or I'll have someone on my team. But I really appreciate you tuning in. The biggest thing is pay attention. There is a small portion of the marketplace, successful salespeople, successful recruiters, successful hiring managers, and they're out there. We have unlimited resources available to us. Like you can literally type in anyone, search them, find their information. But it comes down to the willingness to be able to chase down those opportunities, to pay attention of what's happening, who is succeeding and who's not. And if your days consistently look like someone who's succeeding, you will find success. And if your days resemble someone who's struggling, you will struggle. I know it's oversimplification, but it's so, so true. So let me know, blueprint, I will reach out. I'll give you the more kind of structure on what you need to do. I hope this helps. I appreciate you all so much. Have a great day.